Good morning. Welcome to class 6. Today in English we are going to learn a poem from your book Honeysuckle. The name of the poem is The Kite. The poet of this poem is Harry Ben. He was born on September 24, 1898 and he died on 6 September 1973. He was an American screenwriter and children's author. He was involved in writing scenes and continuities for a number of screenplays including the war film The Big Parade in 1925 and Hell's Angels. He graduated from Harvard University in 1922. Let us start our poem by enlisting names of some festivals. We all like to celebrate different kinds of festivals. It is fun. I have already written down names of some of the festivals: Janmashtami, Ramzan Eid, Navratri, Christmas, Paryushan. You may add more names. Here are some beautiful pictures of kites and some children flying kites. A kite looks very poor thing when it is strapped on a tree and torn. Here are some images from International Kite Flying Festival. Every year in India at Sabarmati riverfront we have this International Kite Flying Festival on the occasion of Makar Sankranti. We can see different kinds, shapes and size of beautiful pictures of kites here. Here is another poem, Kites. One little kite up in the blue, along came another, then there were two. Two little kites over the tree, along came another, then there were three. Three little kites, watch them soar, along came another, then there were four. Four little kites, they act so alive, next came the last one, and then there were five. So it's a beautiful poem. Let us have the introduction of this poem. The poem describes a kite and its different actions. The poem compares the kite with a ship and also describes how bad it looks when it is torn. Summary: the kite looks bright when it is new. It flies high and rides on the waves of wind like a ship. It goes up and falls down with the wind. You have to wait till wind is there again. When a kite is strapped on a tree, it looks very poor and helpless. Now let us have the look at the poem, The Kite. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new. When a kite is new, it looks very bright when it is flying up in the sky. The word blue is referred to the blue sky. With a dive and a deep, it snapes its tail. Dive, deep and snape are some of the action words used for the kite. Just as a swimmer dives into a swimming pool, the kite dives into the air up in the sky. Just as we dip a biscuit in the milk or tea, it takes a dip in the wind. It snapes its tail. That means it flutters its tail. It has a trembling motion because of the wind. Then soars like a ship. Soar means fly high. Just as a ship rides on the sea waves with a sail. Sail is the cloth that is tied to the mast, the pole that is in front of the ship. There would be a cloth tied to it so that it would be filled with air and the ship can move. Same is called the sail. The ship with a single sail, as if riding on the sea waves. Same way the kite rides on the wind waves. Now you would say, ma'am, we cannot see wind. How can we see the wind waves? You can see the pattern or design of the wind waves on the sand of a desert. There are designs. These are actually the wind waves. So the kite is flying and it's riding like a ship on the sea waves. This is a simile. A poet uses some devices to beautify the poem. This is a simile. When one thing is compared with another thing using the words like or as, it is called simile. So here is the poetic device simile is used because the kite is compared to a ship. Climbs to the crest of a gust and pulls. Crest is the top part and gust is blowing wind. As if a monkey is climbing on a tree or top of a tree, the kite climbs to the top of a blowing wind and it pulls because of the impact of the wind. It would pulled upside. Then sinks to rest as wind falls. When the wind stops blowing, it comes to rest. That means as if it is coming to rest, it falls down. When string goes slack, you wind it back. Because the kite falls down, the string also becomes very loose. Slack means getting loose. and it gets loose, so it may get entangled, so you have to wind it back to the spool. So when a kite falls down, you wind back the string and run until a new breeze blows, and you have to wait until new breeze starts blowing and its wing fills and up it goes. When the new wind starts blowing, the wings of the kites are the right and left part of the kite, which is made of paper. It is just like its wings, and these parts get filled with the wind and it goes up smoothly, effortlessly. Then seems to rest as wind falls. When string goes slack, you wind it back and run until a new breeze blows and its wings fill and up it goes. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new. So these lines occur again. This is called refrain. This poetic device where the same line is used in the poem again and again, it is called refrain. So here again the beginning lines are repeated, which means the kite looks quite bright when it is new and it is flying in the sky. But a raggeder thing you never will see when it flaps on a string in the top of a tree. But you will never see more miserable, more poorer tone thing like a kite when it is flapping on a string on the top of a tree. Sometimes while flying the kite, it gets trapped on a tree. You have to cut the string, and on the string that is tied to it, it keeps fluttering there. So it looks very poor at that time. Here are some word meanings. Tide means high waves, crest, top, gust, stormy wind, pulls, moves forward, string, thread, goes slack means becomes loose, wind back, roll it back. Here I have another poem. The name of the poem is Kite. It's a calligram poem, which means the poem is written in the shape of a poem. A kite is soaring high in sky, a dive and a deep, it soars like a ship, beautiful and high, tying earth and sky. And let's have some vocabulary from the poem. Bright means shining, dive means plunge, deep means soak, snape means flap, crest means peak, ragged means tone, slack means loose, gust means blowing wind, flap means flutter. Antonyms: bright opposite dull, new opposite old, full, pull, push, top, bottom, up, down, ragged, fixed or repaired. Noun forms. Noun form of bright is brightness, new, newness, flaps, flap, dive, dive, deep, dip. Name the poem and the poet. The name of the poem is The Kite and the name of the poet is Harry Ban. When does the kite look bright? A kite looks bright when it is new and flying up in the sky. What is referred to as blue in the poem? The blue sky is referred to as blue in the poem. What is the kite compared to? The kite is compared to a ship. Name some actions of the kites in the sky. Dive, deep, snape are some of the actions of the kite in the sky. When does the kite fall down? When the wind stops blowing, the kite falls down. What do you do then? We wind back the string to the spool. When does the kite look miserable? The kite looks miserable when it is trapped on a tree and it is flapping on the string. On which festival people enjoy kite flying? People enjoy kite flying on the kite flying festival, which is called Makar Sankranti. When do we celebrate it? We celebrate it on 14 January every year. Here are some possible assignments. You can write textual exercise. You can prepare a project on different types of kites or festivals. Collect information and pictures of a kite flying festival. Write an essay on the kite flying festival. Make a kite on your own and paste it in your copy. Here are some important links of some YouTube videos, summary and NCERT solution of the poem. Thank you and have a nice day.